Hi Spanish learners, and welcome to another episode of Spanish Academy TV, where we take your Spanish to the next level. Today we will be talking about the Latin American piñata and its origins from China. Yes, you heard that right. And next time you're smashing a piñata, you'll know all about the history of these colorful candy-stuffed cartons. I'm so excited about this topic. But before we continue to discuss the origin and traditions of the piñata, don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and click that notification bell. Again, like, subscribe, bell button. Easy! This way you won't miss the best Spanish learning content on the web. Now, let's get started with our history of every child's birthday dream, the piñata. You'll be surprised by how long and rich this history is. Let's start by explaining the name, piñata. While we can't be 100% sure, it most likely comes from the Italian word for pot, which is piñata. This is because the first piñatas, and the most traditional ones still used today, were constructed from clay containers used for carrying water. Now, let's explore the story of the piñata, the origin of the piñata. As I mentioned, the piñata was not invented in Latin America, but in China. Yes, it's another thing we owe to the Chinese culture. In the 13th century, Chinese people made clay vessels in the form of different animals, such as oxen or cows, that they decorated with various colors that referred to climate conditions and then filled them up with seeds. Then they hit it with a stick. Keep watching. If the vessel got broken, it meant that the harvests were going to be good. Later, the remnants of the clay container were burnt, after which its ashes were mixed with seeds and kept as amulets for a year of good luck. Wondering how the tradition made its way out of China and at which point it gets its piñata name and candies inside? At the end of the 13th century, an Italian merchant and explorer, Marco Polo, traveled through Asia. He liked the clay vessel tradition so much that he brought it back with him when he returned to Italy. This is when it probably got its Italian name we mentioned at the beginning, piñata, the name that Italians used for the clay pot in the form of pine. From there, the tradition traveled to Spain, where it got associated with the Christian celebration of Lent. From there, you might suspect how it got to America. The arrival in America. During the 16th century, Spanish missionaries settled in America and brought the piñata tradition with them. Interestingly, a similar tradition already existed in Mesoamerica. The Aztecs would break a clay pot decorated with feathers to celebrate the birthday of Huitzilopochtli, the god of war and sun. The pot was broken with a stick, allowing all of the treasures within to spill out at the feet of the god as an offering. On the other side of Mexico, the Mayans had a similar tradition that was more like a game. A person with their eyes covered would try to hit a clay pot suspended by a string. The Spanish missionaries got inspired to combine the Chinese-influenced Spanish piñata with the indigenous traditions. Their main motivation in doing so was to attract the natives to their religion and convert them to Catholicism. This period of Latin American history explains the religious symbolism of piñatas. For Christmas, piñatas are usually star-shaped with 7 spikes, each one symbolizing a different capital city. Blindfolding a person that has to break the piñata represents blind faith in God. The sweets and fruit inside symbolize the rewards that we expect to receive if we overcome the temptations of evil. If you want to learn more about other traditions and customs at Christmas in Latin America, check out this interesting article about Latin American posadas. This unique mixture of customs from different cultures turned out to be a popular combination, and it quickly expanded to the rest of Latin America. Nowadays, piñatas are more of a social than religious tradition, and no birthday party in Latin America can happen without one or more. Before we start uncovering how the piñata tradition looks in different countries today, let me remind you that here at Homeschool Spanish Academy, you can sign up for a free class with a certified native Spanish-speaking teacher. It's easy. Just go to www.spanish.academy/free-class or click here. It's that simple. No credit card or other payment is required. We love free stuff and love Spanish and want you to enjoy it as well. Piñatas around the world. So, how do piñata traditions look in different countries today? As you know, piñatas now come in all shapes and sizes. You can find them in Mexico, Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, Peru, Colombia, Venezuela, Costa Rica, Panama, and many, many other countries in Central and South America. Let's take a peek at how some countries differ in their piñata traditions. Mexico. Mexico is the country that most of us associate with piñatas. No birthday or Christmas party can be celebrated without one. Nowadays, Mexicans fill their piñatas with all kinds of candies, many of which are quite spicy, so watch out when you open yours. During parties in which adults are in attendance, money is a welcomed addition to the sweet treasures inside to motivate the participants even more in breaking the piñata open. The traditional song they sing at all the piñata parties goes like this. Dale, 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 no pierdas el tino, porque si lo pierdes, pierdes el camino. Ya le diste una, ya le diste dos, ya le diste tres, y tu tiempo se acabó. Se acabó! In English, we would sing, sing it, sing it, sing it. Don't lose your stance. Because if you lose it, then you've lost your chance. You swung it once, and then you swung again. Swing it for the third time, and get in line again. The United States. The Hispanic groups in the United States have made sure that piñatas are equally popular across the border. That's why you surely know them. People hang them for birthday parties, Christmas, and Cinco de Mayo. Guatemala. People in Guatemala also like celebrating any fiesta with a piñata. However, they also use it for a very interesting purpose. For the 7th of December, you can see piñatas in the form of a devil everywhere. It is because on this day, the country celebrates Burn the Devil Day, or La Quema del Diablo. They burn the piñata that is stuffed with fireworks. This tradition dates back to colonial times, although the devil-shaped piñata started to be burnt in the early 1990s. Before, it was made with wood and leaves. Cuba. Piñatas became famous in Cuba during the 1940s and 50s, but they are not broken with a stick or burned. Instead, they're opened with ribbons pulled from the base. There should be a ribbon for each child at the party, although some piñatas will be only opened with one, and this is usually given to the birthday kid. Chile. In Chile, piñatas were used to celebrate a successful harvest. However, today, they are as present at birthday parties as in any other Latin American country. Chileans believe that if you are the lucky one that breaks the piñata, luck will follow you for the whole year. I hope you liked getting to know some history behind your favorite birthday custom. Next time you raise a stick to hit a piñata, you will remember the long and international road this tradition has taken. If you feel like learning more about Latin American history, don't miss this article on a brief history of Latin America. Just one last thing to add to your piñata knowledge, or maybe you already know it. When is Piñata Day celebrated? On April 18th. Now that you know so much about piñatas, you might be interested in learning and reading more in Spanish. Even if you're a beginner learner, you can download and enjoy our free ebook called Weird and Wacky Spanish Stories for Beginners, which is totally free and fun to read. I'm leaving a link for you in the description below. And lastly, don't forget to sign up for your free class with one of our friendly native Spanish-speaking teachers. Just go to www.spanish.academy/free-class. See you next time! I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like and be sure to subscribe to our channel for all Spanish learning updates. Hasta pronto!